Hi, welcome to WILA. I just turned this microphone on and had no plan. That's just the truth of it. But now we're both in WILA, in the world of WILA. And of course, WILA is what is it called when something stands for something? I want to say bananagram, but it's not. It's not a bananagram. Actually, I don't know what a bananagram is. I know it's a game, but maybe it is a bananagram for what I'm looking at. But I don't think it is. I think it's an anagram. Is that what it is? The letters stand for words. What W is for what, I is for I'm, L is for looking, and A is for at. What I'm looking at. And this is a podcast about what I'm looking at. And there's someone with a high-powered machine just going at it, like some kind of masonry tool. 2:00 in the afternoon. So someone's probably fixing an ancient stone wall down the street. And there's not much I could do about it. I'm just gonna hope that the music behind this episode is covering up the unpleasant frequencies that go along with such a high-powered masonry tool. But I apologize if that sound is reaching your ears and annoying you. Hopefully they'll take a mid-afternoon break in a minute here. Unfortunately, the world around me doesn't cater to what I'm doing, and I say unfortunately, but that's kind of good. It's the spice of life. It makes life interesting when no one gives a F what you're doing, and they only give an F what they're doing. And we live together peacefully in harmony and understanding and sympathy and empathy. So anyway, what I'm looking at is a podcast with me. My name is Emily. Some people call me Pinky. The select few who know that that's my little nickname and the story behind it. But you can call me that if you want. That's fine. Or Emily, or whatever. If you want to make a new nickname, just let me know what it is so I know that you're talking to me. And I created it a number of years ago just for a laugh, really. I thought it'd be funny to create a whole podcast around what I'm looking at, one thing or one scene. And over the years, it has really become something of its own. It's become something more. It's morphed, it's evolved, and people listen to it to relax. People listen to it to laugh sometimes. People listen to it to just have a friendly voice, a friendly presence with them in the room or in their car or in their earbuds. And sometimes I'm even a companion for sleepy time, for nap times, or sleep at longer intervals. And sometimes I keep pets company because pets need a little company too. I'm not sure if insect pets need company. Like, I can't really imagine a tarantula feeling comforted and happy about my voice being in the space, but I could be wrong. I really don't know either way whether or not a tarantula likes that kind of thing, nor do I know if a lizard likes it. I'm really basing my thoughts off of my experiences, which have mainly been with dogs and sometimes cats, but I don't know that a cat would really care that much, but maybe it would. What I'm saying is this podcast could be good for something, or it could not be good for something, or it could be neutral. So welcome to it, whatever it's adding or subtracting from your life. Welcome in to WILA. I'm very, very happy you're here, and I've got a full glass of water, and I've got the sun kind of darting in and out of the clouds. So 1 minute it's very light and bright, and the next minute it's very dark, like it's maybe gonna rain, and maybe it will rain. And now the sun is coming out once again. So it's a very exciting time. And I'm gonna look at something in a minute after we chat for a little bit and I catch you up, because the last time you heard from me was a couple Wednesdays ago, or one Wednesday ago, and who knows, I don't even remember what I was doing or what I was going through at that point. So today, here I am. I've had a sort of a slowish day, not a super exciting day. No one's been in to the center, but I have talked to my mom and I've talked to some other people on the phone, and I've done some research and I've done some internet work, and I still have a couple of things on my list, but the thing I'm most excited about is going to the grocery store, because honestly it's like my little playground in there. I can just walk slowly through and look at all the new products and daydream about what I would make. And I often go in there. I think this is a pretty universal experience that people can all relate to, when you go in for one thing and then you buy way more than that one thing, and then you forget the one thing that you went in for. It's hilarious. It is so funny. Not in the moment, because you really did need that one thing, and maybe you didn't need all those other things, but it is just so funny that happens. It's funny. I don't particularly need anything today. Well, I do need to get dinner, so I'm on a mission, and I'm sure my mission will be fulfilled, because there are a lot of options at the co-op. I think I'll stop at the co-op. It's just easy in and out, you know. It's on the way home. It's always out of cilantro. They need to order more cilantro. Always have tons of parsley, but no cilantro. Luckily, I have some cilantro at my home, so I don't need to worry about that. And a couple days ago, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at it. I can't remember the brand name. I just wanted to tell you all about this sauerkraut I bought. It's Polish sauerkraut, and it is so good. I crave it. Like, I could just sit and eat the sauerkraut out of the jar. Might be a gross thought to some of you, but for all my sauerkraut loving fans, I would recommend this brand of sauerkraut, which I can't remember the brand name of. So you're gonna just have to live with that cliffhanger in your mind until next time. I'll definitely note down the brand of it, or even look at it next time, and then maybe you can place your order for a couple of jars of this sauerkraut, because it is really, really good. So maybe I'll make something with sauerkraut in mind. Have you ever had a sauerkraut pierogi? Oh, it's good. It's really good. I don't know how to make a pierogi, but it can't be that complicated, right? Maybe I'll try to make a sauerkraut pierogi. Right, enough dinner talk, enough food talk. Actually, no. It's not enough food talk, because today I'm looking at a food item, and wow, this has all just been one build up to what I'm looking at. I didn't even mean to do that, but it's just how life worked today, and that's very neat. So today, everyone, I'm looking at a bag of olives. That's right, I said a bag of olives. I'm just going to tell you a backstory about these olives. So one day, I was coming to the center. I was driving from my house to the center, and I realized that for an 8-hour day, I have very little sustenance, very few things to eat. I think I had like an orange and an apple or something like that. And I thought, oh gosh, that's going to be difficult to make it through the whole day with just those things. So I thought I better stop on the way to the center, and I thought I'd stop at this place called Duck's Farm Shop. It's in a village called Portisham on the way. This shop is expensive, but they have a bunch of snacks. I could get snacks at the Spar, which is in the village, but there's not that much variety in this Spar, especially for someone with vegetarian leanings such as myself. I can't just, get a ham sandwich or something, whatever they have there. I usually have to go with like a roll and a tub of hummus, and that's fine, but I just, it gets a little boring. And there's also this place called Cherries in the village that serve food, but then you're looking at like £8, and then I don't know, I didn't want to spend that amount of money. I just thought I'll stop at this Duck's place, maybe grab a quick coffee and some snacks and head on my way because I was early. So I got this pack of olives at Duck's Farm Shop, and I didn't have a plan of what I wanted to get, much like today I don't have a plan when I go into the co-op. I just knew I wanted some maybe like crackers or chips and something else to just keep me going, maybe a granola bar. And I saw these olives sitting there, and I thought, yeah, I could go for some olives. Why not? That's where these olives came from. And also shout out to Ducks. They had 3 different non-dairy milk options. They had coconut, oat, and soy, which I always appreciate, especially out here in the country. Usually they either have nothing or they just have oat. And anyway, shout out to Ducks. Although, do I want to retract my shout out? Because one time I bought a roll from there and it was moldy. So they actually owe me 20p. I'll keep the shout out. I'll just, it's water under the bridge. No big deal. Bread goes moldy. Hey. So the masonry power tool is still going on. If you're trying to relax, I do apologize, but I'm already deep into recording this episode, so I'm probably not going to resume after the power tool ceases to be doing its powering. I'm hoping that it will be okay. If you'd like to relax, if you are in a place where you can relax, the looking portion of this podcast is about to begin. So, if you can close your eyes and just float through this chunk of time and visualize with me, that's always a really relaxing thing to do, I think. Because part of the reason I do this podcast is to remind people that the world is endlessly fascinating, and whatever you look at, you can notice like the tiniest, most interesting details and choices. And not only that, but focusing on one thing for a prolonged period of time has a calming effect on the nervous system, and it's a form of meditation, believe it or not. So without further ado, let's get into this bag of olives. This bag of olives measures roughly 6 inches in height and about 4 or 4.5 inches in length. Yes, am I saying that right? Well, 6 by 4.5, let's say. And the bag, in its most purest form, is silver, and it's a kind of plasticky foil bag. On the front, we're going to start with the front, and there's a lot of information to get through. So the front of the bag is painted white, and on the sides you can see the silver of the bag, but the vast majority is the white painted bag. I'm going to go from the top to the bottom. On the top, we see some text. It says Mr. Filbert's, and that's Mr.Filbert''S. Really interesting snacks. That's in the color black, and Mr. Filbert's is in looks like a custom font because it's very quirky. It's got a lot of kind of squiggles. It's a serifed font, but it looks sort of wavy, like if you've ever done Photoshop or some other kind of Photoshop-like editing software for images, you know when you can warp something with the little wand? It looks like someone's gone through with the wand and sort of warped certain areas of this font. So it's got a lot of character, I will say. It's in lowercase. Well, the M and the F are in uppercase. And then under it, it says really interesting snacks, and that's in a completely different font. It's a sans serif font with no personality, all caps, but it's very legible, also in black. Below that, we have in large text, olive snack. And the olives in black in the same font as really interesting snacks. It's, just a plain sans serif font, the biggest font on this package. And the snack is actually in a kind of purple color, purplish. It's like a light eggplant. It's a little bit dull and not a bright purple, but it's maybe like on the mauve side, but definitely more purple than mauve. So olives in black, snack is in that purple mauve color. And then under that is yet a different font, another font in the purple color. And it says pitted mixed olives with rosemary and garlic. This font is like a faux handwritten font in lowercase. Pitted is uppercase, rosemary is uppercase, and garlic is uppercase, and the and is an ampersand, not the word and. And this is in, it's like a subtitle, so it's smaller than olive snack and even smaller than the really interesting snacks text. Where the with rosemary and garlic stops, that's about halfway down the bag. I'm going to quickly go back up to the top because there's an avatar or a figure that we need to talk about that's right next to where it says Mr. And the Mr, by the way, is underlined by a squiggle. It's just like a little, like on the keyboard, like a little squiggle, like a wave. And next to that Mr, I'm holding the bag closer to my face because it's that small. This little person is about half an inch tall, and it's got red hair, a chef's cap, and a face which I can't really see that much, but I think it's smiling with two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, holding a wooden spoon and wearing a purple apron with a kind of yellowy orangey shirt on and brown pants or leggings, can't tell, they look tight, and some brown shoes or brown socks. I can't tell, but definitely not the feet. It's the shoes, not the feet. And also this person is holding a saucepan, and I'm assuming that they are taking whatever's in the saucepan out with the wooden spoon and holding it up to either smell it or they're gonna taste it. So that's the little figure next to Mr. Filbert's, and I would imagine that Mr. Filbert's has a line, like a range of snacks, and this little figure comes on every package of Mr. Filbert. Heck, that might even be Mr. Filbert. Mr. Filbert, is that you? It does look like it could be Mr. Filbert, so let's just guess that. So on the second half of the bag, there's a big image, and it's a real life picture photograph of olives, And let's count how many. So there's 2 different colored olives on this image. Let's count how many green ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4 purple ones or black ones. They're called black olives, but they're really purple, aren't they? Or brownish purple. They look juicy. They look... Oh, it's raining. It's raining hard. They look juicy. They look delicious. They look glossy. They've got little pieces of garlic on them and rosemary as well. It looks like a real picture of these olives. They don't look like... They look bigger than actual olives that are in this pack. And then behind these olives, there's a clove of garlic still in its jacket and a sprig of rosemary. So you get the whole picture of what is going on inside this bag, except for the clove of garlic and the actual fresh sprig of rosemary. That is probably not in the bag, but it's just telling you what is, you know, spicing it up in there. There's an emblem which says free from in all caps and in that purple color, and it says additives, preservatives, artificial additives and preservatives, and then a check mark, and that's in an emblem which is like circular. And then there's another one which says on 100% natural, and that's in a purple circle with white text and kind of like a handwritten... It actually looks like the same font as the Pitted Mixed Olives font. And then below that it says 98 calories per pack in the same purple circle. And that one doesn't have the handwritten text. It's got a sans serif text similar to the other sans serif text font on this front of this package. Directly under those is a 65G label. It's directly below that. It says 65G, meaning grams, in black. And then on the other side, it says below the olives, easy snacking, no stones, with an asterisk, no oil, and no mess. And that is actually in the handwritten font. The easy snacking is in lowercase, and the no stones, no oil, no mess is in uppercase, all caps. And that is all that's on the front of the package. So then let's flip it. Actually, I'll tell you what's on the top. So the top of the package is purple, painted that same purple color, and the price sticker is still secured on the top of the bag, and it says £2.20. It's on a white price sticker with that computery number font that we all know and love. And now I'm flipping the bag over. The bag just quickly has a very interesting design. It looks like it's sealed on the top, but then you lift this flap on the back and it opens up into a side opening where you can reseal it so that the olives don't go bad. Very interesting. And also they don't leak. So I've already opened them. I had this snack a while ago, a couple days ago. There's still some olives in here. I don't know if I should eat them or not, but maybe I will. On the back, it says olive snack right up top. Olives in black again, and snack is in purple again. Below that, in all caps in the same sans serif font, says pitted green and Kalamata olives. That's in black. Under that, it says marinated with rosemary and garlic in purple. And then there's a series of images depicting how one goes about opening this bag. And you know, I'm pretty notorious for not being able to read instructions. I don't know, it's my brain, like it can't it doesn't like instructions. It wants to do its own thing. I could be better at that. But I did follow these instructions because I didn't want to get olive juice everywhere. Even though this bag says no oil, no mess, I wasn't buying that. So I did look at the pictures and appreciate that it was illustrated for my brain. It says, so these are all 3 in squares. 1, 2, 3, 3 steps. And the first illustration says to open, peel up flap at both ends. And it's got 2 hands with arrows pulling up the flap of the bag. And then number 2 says pull apart the front and back to enjoy the olives. So again, it's showing 2 hands with the bag, and it's got an arrow pointing horizontally indicating that you pull it apart. And then number 3 says close, reclose, remove safety tape, and press to close. Close dash reclose, remove safety tape, and press to close. That's a lot of closing happening. And that's it. That's the instructions. And this flap on each end has some arrows indicating that that's the flap that you pull down. So it is altogether very clear messaging, and I appreciate it. I'm just messing with the bag, so you will be hearing that sound effects of the bag. I also had to peel it up slightly because it was a little bit obscuring the next thing I'm going to read, which is a speech bubble coming from Mr. Filbert himself in a different outfit, but much the same as the other one he's wearing. So I'm gonna read what he's saying first. In this text bubble, it's purple, and it's in that handwritten font. It says, "Our delicious pitted mixed olives are famous for their great taste. Marinated in rosemary and garlic and bursting with flavor, they are a perfect Mediterranean snack." He is standing on the side of the bag, and he is holding, it looks like, a bushel of something in a bag, and he is he's standing with his hip leaning on his hip, and he has one hand up in a gesture, and he's got his red hair. He doesn't have a hat on anymore. He's smiling. He's got a vest with a white collared shirt underneath and brown pants and tan shoes. So thanks for letting us know that, Mr. Filbert. And the rest of this information is, all of the things that are required to be on a bag of food. And so now is the time to really deeply sink into this olive bag. We're going to quickly read just the English translation of this information and then go on to things like barcode and net weight and serving size, that kind of thing. But first we're going to go over the ingredients. This is all in black and very small text, and it's sans serif. Here we go. Ingredients: pitted green olives 46%, pitted Kalamata olives 46%, salt, lemon juice, red wine vinegar, marinade, extra virgin olive oil, rosemary, less than 1%, garlic, less than 1%. Warning: product may contain olive stones or fragments. Storage: refrigerate after opening and consume within 3 days. Packaged in a protective atmosphere. Nutritional information: energy 623 kJ, fat 14.2 g, carbohydrates 1.9 g. Sorry, that's of which saturates. Carbohydrates are 2.7 g, of which sugars 0.5 g, fiber 3.2 g, protein 1.1 g, salt 2.0 g. Servings per pack, 4 approximately. Net weight, 65 grams / 2.29 ounces. Mr. Filbert's logo is a registered trademark. Produced in Greece for Filbert's Fine Foods Limited, BA68NX UK, mail at filbertsfinefoods.co.uk, +44 01458 833 744, www.mrfilberts.com, barcode number 506014505239, and best before end / mind. Oh, that's not an English word. And there we have it, everyone. That is my Mr. Filbert's really interesting snacks, olive in a bag. And they were pretty good, I've got to say. I'm not as big of a fan of these olives as I am this Polish sauerkraut, but it's hard to beat the Polish sauerkraut. So I'm not really going to knock them for that. They just can never be that, you know? They just never will. They're just a different thing. And I appreciate them for what they are. And I appreciate you for what you are. And I appreciate you for being here. And thank you to anyone who subscribes to this podcast. I appreciate if you're even thinking about subscribing to the podcast. I even appreciate you if you have nothing to do with subscribing to this podcast. Thanks for being here. Until next time.